afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. And firstly, we'd like to thank Imam Abdullah, who is the resident imam here at Masjid Shareef, for making the Masjid available for some very special presentations that are going to be given this afternoon. And I'm sure that we all want to benefit. Not only has he and his staff and his Imam Salim, and also the treasurer, Brother Ahmed Safi, has worked, to make this possible. But he has also made resources available to cover expenses in a very significant way, so that this information can be brought to you today. We were all sitting in his office yesterday, listening to him and giving some history on the community here, dating back to some of the earlier days of the Nation of Islam. And I'm telling you, it was really a learning experience for all of us. And I feel very fortunate, and I think we are all very fortunate to be in association with his leadership. Praise be to Allah. Thank you very much. Now, the main purpose of today's program, at least the original idea, was to introduce to you Brother Ansaar Aquil, who was to unveil a kind of, a very sound and cost-effective plan for establishing model halal outlets. But however, in the process of planning, the program sort of took on a momentum of its own, and more parties got involved. So as a result, we're going to be getting much more than what we had originally planned in terms of the time that you are investing this afternoon. So in the following order, and as far as the first segment of this program is concerned, we're going to be hearing from Brother Ansaar Aquil, who's going to give us an update on CPC and also the new developments in the contrast operation here in Chicago. And then after which Brother Reed Hassan, who is the assistant manager of the contrast operation in Chicago, and he's also a butcher, I might add, a very good butcher. He's going to be enlightening us on some various cuts of meat, and also how these cuts relate to the starter package that's going to be presented later on in this program. After which we will be hearing from Brother Rafiq Najee. I don't know if he's here, but Brother Rafiq Najee, okay. And Brother Rafiq is a businessman out of Oakland, California. And he actually is responsible for putting together a business team that has the capability of securing and processing and also the distribution of halal chicken throughout the entire country in a very timely fashion. And so he presented his idea to Ansaar Aquil, and that idea was, or proposal was subsequently presented to Imam WD Mohammed, and now it is in place to be utilized. And then we have also with us from Pittsburgh, Terry Norris and associates over here to the right on the wall. That's it? Terry Long. How did I get Terry Norris? Pardon me, Terry. We spoke on the phone, and my apologies, but Terry Long and associates. And they're, of course, out of Pittsburgh, and they are also a component in this team that was put together by Brother Najee. And so they're going to be sharing some information with us, and they're responsible for this beautiful, elaborate display of vegetables, sliced and diced and cut and everything. Looks very good. They're responsible for this display that's before you. So we'll be hearing from them as well. And then Brother Ansaar will come back and he will give us a presentation on the concept of establishing the halal model outlets in your areas. So we're going to try to be, expeditious about these presentations. so as to allow time to, you to exchange business cards, the business displays, and also to just have some time to socialize. So, having said that, I think at this point I would like to say that I have known Brother Ansaar Aquil since 1993, and he's a good friend. I should say he's a good friend who I'm very happy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed with an immense amount of talent. And I think even apart from that, and more importantly, he is an individual who our leader, Imam WD Mohammed, has put a great trust in his charge, in that he is the business associate for Imam WD Mohammed, placing him over the operations of CPC, Comtrust, and also the Mosque Cares, which is formerly WDM Ministry. And so, in other words, he is actually the boss. That's right. And the boss, our leader, Imam Muhammad, has made him the boss over these operations. And I think that means that when you're the boss, you have the power or the ability to hire and fire. So I was asking, do you have the power to hire and fire? So he is the boss of the whole operation. And I think that this is a very good thing in that this allows the Imam Muhammad, to be free to do other things. I think it's what a great benefit and relief it is. I know personally to me, and I'm sure to others, to know that God has sent someone to the leader who, as I mentioned, he loves the religion and he is capable and highly qualified, thereby freeing the Imam up to be able to do other things that eventually we're all going to ultimately benefit from anyway. So that's a very good development for all of us, and I think it's an excellent thing. There are great things on the horizon as far as our financial future is concerned. But in order for us to benefit from this future, more must be aware and come to share the economic vision that we have for our community. Because in that vision is characterized the programs that have been set up by the leadership of the Muslim American Society, by which so many people will be able to benefit from. So whenever we find, good leadership and good talent, and we have good talent all over this city, all over this country. Wherever we find it, all of us are really obligated to do all we can to support and to promote and to push that talent out front so that it can do what it was created to do, and that is to work for all of us, to work for what is in the best interest of the group, of the community, for all of us, for all people. In the Muslim Journal, I believe that there was a November issue, the November 23rd issue. At the bottom of that journal, Brother Aquil made a statement. There was a statement printed that says that he said that I am here to help us help Imam WD Mohammed serve humanity. And this statement really, in my opinion, defines what all of our jobs should be, and that is that we all should be working, and we should put forth more effort to work in concert to support and to promote the programs and the objectives of the leader that will benefit all people. As you know, the Prophet, prayer and peace upon him, said that the best of you is he who is most useful. And so, of course, this idea of what is most useful, the implied idea here is the best one is the one who is most useful to people. And so, praise be to Allah. We are happy that that all of you are here today and you have responded to the call. We have rain. It's raining outside. But you know, in terms of the objectives and what we have our hearts set towards, there's no amount of rain, snow, hail, or sleet really that can keep us apart. Not only the Muslims, but those of us who are not of the Islamic faith, but who also have a vision for the future and have an inclination to come together. We both come together and form alliances to make things happen that are beneficial for everybody. So we're happy that you are here, and let us encourage Aquil. Let us continue to encourage him. Let us help him remain humble with the responsibility he has. Let us support him. Let us pray for him. Let us pray to Allah for his success, because his success is all of our success. And if we're successful in one part of this town, as Muslims who are striving towards certain objectives, then that means that I'm successful in Moreno Valley, you're successful in Bakersfield, San Diego, wherever we are. One success represents the success of all of us. So praise be to Allah. I would conclude these opening remarks by saying that upon the conclusion of this presentation, and after you have had your questions answered in a way that's satisfactory, then I would strongly encourage you to immediately get involved in some aspect of CPC, of Contrast, of these programs that have been designed and set up by the leadership to be a service and a benefit not only to the community and the members of the Muslim American Society, but also eventually we want to be able to serve people outside of our immediate circles of persuasion. And again, our prophet says that the best hand, the hand that is on top, really is better than the hand that is on the bottom. And the CPC, Comtrust, and all of these things that have been set up really represent the solution to our economic dilemma here in this country as African Americans, and also the economic dilemma of anyone that's suffering that deserves to be able to take advantage of such opportunities and programs that are set up. So without any further comments, we would ask that Brother Tariq Aquil, Ansaar Aquil, come before the podium, and thank you very much for your response, and we ask at this time that he would come forward. Takbir. 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 Allahu Akbar.
Assalamu alaikum. With Allah's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer, we witness that Allah is God, we witness that Muhammad is his messenger, and we witness that it is through the revealed word of God to us in the Quran Kareem that we are able to have this mind to do that which is correct and to follow the type of leadership that Allah has blessed us to have here in Imam WD Mohammed. I thank all of you for coming out, and I would just like to reiterate my appreciation and join it with Imam El-Amin for the host for this event, Imam Abdullah. Special appreciation for him opening his doors for this event. And I also would like to acknowledge the brother who conceived this event and who did not stop. Matter of fact, he's still going. Imam El-Amin. So we have a special appreciation for him and for Imam Harun and all of his supporters and his staff. Some of you I know actually was passing out handbills, advertisements, letting people know about this event. I know Imam El-Amin travels up and down the coast at his own expense to try and alert individuals to know that this event will be taking place. And I think that this is indicative of the type of that we have to have if we're going to be successful in what we're doing today. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of Minister WD Mohammed, the West Coast Minister Emeritus, of Minister Louis Farrakhan, an old friend of mine, and we're glad to have you with us today. We have, I don't know if we can get a melody or something later on after the iftar, but we have the lead vocalist for the New Platters, Brother Latif Kadeh is here. And I would also like to thank each and every one of the imams that have traveled here and that have been supported by your respective communities. And we have a very special alliance that we have formed. And as was mentioned by Imam El-Amin, I was in Chicago and Brother Rafiq Najib came and told me, he says, I have something that I think our community can benefit from, and I want to bring it to our imam. And that immediately got my attention. You hear a lot of things, and you see a lot of things, and you get a lot of offers in that time. But the thing that catches one's ear, the thing that gets your attention is when it's dedicated toward the betterment and the furtherance of the vision of Imam WD Mohammed and for the betterment of humanity at large through the entities that he has established. So when Brother Rafiq spoke to me about it, we made the preparations. I spoke to Imam Mohammed and he said, go ahead, set it up, and he would be there. As things happened, Brother Rafiq came with his associates and with Mr. Terry Long and his associates, and they did a display similar to what we have here, but I was sure that there were going to be more people than was just in the office, so he promised that he would double it, and he has. And none of this is for sale. All of this is for consumption. So we'll be taking, none of this can stay. It has to go when we go. We'll just get somebody in the back and get the little Ziploc bag. So we arranged the meeting and we had a very nice presentation. The Imam Mohammed called me on the phone in the office and he asked me, how did it go? And I told him it went well. He said, what do you think? I said, it looks like something we could be involved in. He said, okay, then I don't need to come over there. And thus began the relationship. They explained to me that they had an appreciation and a respect for our belief system, for our the level of quality and commitment that we demand for our products. We gave them an outline of what halal is. I sent him a letter by special courier. Next day service delivered. He had to sign for it. And told him, if you do not supply me with halal certifications from all of your people in the name of the man that performed the slaughter, we have no deal and no contract. When he came to his office, I had also faxed it to him. If there was any other form of communication, I would have gotten it to him by then too. And as I called his office, he said, your fax machine should be going now. I'm sending them to you right now. So I Xeroxed them, laminated them, and they're on display here. It's important that we have integrity in the market. It's important that we restore the confidence in the market and in the products, and we have to demand and require the same thing of those that we depend upon to supply us. So he responded. We have the certifications. We did our homework on the internet, called the different companies that we have to, and we have them here for you to see as well. So we're happy that all of them are here. And before I left Chicago, I asked Imam Mohammed if there was anything that he would like for me to tell you, and he said, yes, tell them, Assalamu alaikum. Imam Mohammed is the centerpiece of a vision that we are working on, and I would like to share with you what he has said about this. Quoting, Collective Purchasing Conference, LLC, also known as CPC, LLC, is a concept that, although only after materializing in May of 1995, has been in preparation long before WD Mohammed ever became Chief Minister of Temple Number 2 in Chicago, Savior's Day, February 1975. It was actually a concept that was instilled in WD Mohammed from his father, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, leader of the Nation of Islam. There is a wide field for the wide-awake man to work out. Do for self. We should have our own separate state. Up, you mighty nation, you can accomplish what you will, are just a few of the things the Honorable Elijah Muhammad articulated. Making major purchases from international countries such as Morocco, Japan, Peru, are some of the business activities that W.D. Mohammed witnessed of his father's successful business affairs. Your Supermarket, Shabazz Bakery, Salam Restaurant, Guarantee Bank, Muhammad Speaks newspaper, all products of the mind of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. A cattle farm in Pell City, Alabama, a dairy farm in Cassopolis, Michigan, a trucking fleet in Chicago, Illinois, a woman's clothing factory in Chicago, Illinois, a farm in Georgia, real estate over the most affluent areas of Chicago, including Temple Number 2, to say the least. Numerous trickle-down businesses flourished as a result of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, too many to name, yet all equally as important. Business is no stranger to W.D. Mohammed, leader of over 2.5 million Muslims in the Muslim American Society and Collective Purchasing Conference, LLC. It is only a natural product from the mind of one who lived, ate, and slept with his father's huge expectations and aspirations, end quote. It is upon this economic landscape that CPC emerges as a collective purchasing conference, and the distribution arm of CPC is ComTrust. It is the distribution arm for the products purchased by CPC. I would like to take this occasion to give you an update. Whether you are a member or an investor in CPC or not, I'm going to treat all of you as though you are shareholders and stockholders, because I think ultimately you will be. The Collective Purchasing Conference was initiated in 1995, and the concept was shared, and in 1998, the first distributors came on board. In 1999, one of the first purchases was made, and it was of 18 metric tons of shea butter from Africa. Those 18 metric tons of shea butter were then converted into 9 million 4-ounce units of shea butter. All of them were sold in 1999. In the year 2000, 37.5 metric tons of shea butter was purchased from Africa and converted into 18 million 4-ounce units of shea butter and distributed across the United States. All purchased by CPC. It's expected that by March, the projection is by March of the year 2002, that the clothing factory that has been purchased in Senegal will be producing clothing, and it will be returned to the United States from a factory that has been built by the investors from CPC. Their money has purchased the land, has built the factory, has bought the machinery, and hired the consultants who come back and forth, get patterns, and fly back with material. They will be producing garments there that will be shipped back here at prices that will be highly competitive. I was making a little statement to Imam Muhammad a few weeks ago about whether or not I could carry all of this. And he told me, I carried it this far by myself. You sure you can't carry it now? And I'm thinking to myself that he has done all of this himself. Can't we now help shoulder the load? Can't we now start carrying some of this? In the past 2 months, the past 8 weeks, I would like to share with you some of the innovations and some of the things that we've done with CPC and ComTrust and the Mosque Cares, formerly WD Ministries in Chicago. One of the first things that we began to do is we updated all of the computer systems to make sure that they were capable of holding the systems that we wanted to put in place, the databases, and function how we needed them to function. So we contacted a local businessman who's present today, Mr. Sheikh Abubakari. We contacted his company, and we began to purchase computers at a price that made it so competitive that some of the office staff said we need to buy personally from him as well. So we updated all of our computers. Then we hired a computer company, and we were fortunate that we got the vice president of Davis Computer Technologies, Ms. Stephanie Davis herself, in Chicago, who came in and put in a LAN system, a local access network system. What we were aiming at doing and what has been accomplished with Allah's help is that now we have a data tracking system where we can track every product that's produced by CPC. I don't care if it goes across the United States or around the world. We have inventory control so we can tell when the trucks are rolling in whether we have enough space in our warehouse or not, or whether it has to be redirected. We have dedicated individuals in the office that when you call, and inshallah you will be calling regularly to say that you want to increase your contributions to your investment in CPC, we have now placed online a very soothing, if you happen to be placed on hold, a very soothing message that will be playing for you. Imam Muhammad called in the office one day, and I don't think he was very happy with hearing, can you hold please? And he told me, he said, we need something when they're waiting, you know, don't they have something? That's all he had to tell me. I called the phone company and told them, we got to have some music on this line. You know, we like jazz, so it's okay. This is jazz anyway. But they also give us the accommodation where we can tell you while you're waiting online what we sell. So it's not a waste of your time. While you're waiting, you're being informed of what we actually have there or any other thing that we want to put online. So we have a dedicated individual now whose only job is to manage the CPC accounts. So when you call, it won't be the sister who handles that is not in today, and you'll have to call back tomorrow. Or, well, I'm not really sure how that works. It's really not my job. This is her job. And that's her only job, is to satisfy the questions, to satisfy the concerns of each and every member of CPC that calls in. And if she has to leave her desk for any reason, I'm purchasing for her a headset where as she walks, she can still talk. The next thing that we addressed was responsiveness. One of the things that I shared with Imam Muhammad when he hired me for this position was that I felt that there had not been perhaps adequate time on the individuals previously there, and that we would make it a priority to be responsive to the CPC investors and ComTrust customers. So we now have a system set up where when you call in or when you become a member, we will respond to you very quickly. We want to be competitive. You don't have to invest with CPC. There are other things that you can invest in. Your emotional attachment, your spiritual attachment, and the pinnacle of all of this is your faith and trust in Imam WD Mohammed. And I was speaking to him just the other day, and I said, you know what, Brother Imam, I said, the reason why they have invested is because of you, because of your integrity, and because they trust you. He says, yes, but if you keep working and get this business like you're going, they will be investing because of the business, because it's functioning like a real entity. And that will be the test of it. So we are competing for your investment. And we're not asking you just to invest because, we know you. We're asking you to invest in an entity that represents the best aspirations of yourself. We're asking you to invest in your children being able to go to the college of their choice. We're asking you to invest in having the neighborhood that you would like to live in. We're asking you to invest in the very best of your hopes and aspirations for the present and the future of your own life and for the society at large. Now, how many things can you invest in where there's a single entity and they can tell you it will affect the holistic existence of your life? One of the other things that we have placed in CPC is that everybody who is a member of a corporation or a shareholder or a stockholder at some point in time during a 12-month period gets some kind of report that tells them what's happening with their money. So I asked Imam Muhammad if he would approve my plan, and he did, that every quarter, he said every quarter, the shareholders will get a stock report, a shareholders report, so that you can do your business, so that you can be informed, so that we can be accountable, so that you can have the information. Every quarter, a stockholders report will come out to each and every shareholder or stockholder in CPC. Now I have to ask your apology. I have to apologize to you because I took the liberty 2 issues ago in the Muslim Journal to issue a shareholders report to the whole community. So if you got that edition of the Muslim Journal, you got your shareholders report, I'm going to reiterate portions of it, but it was too much to wait until the next quarter to let you know what has actually been going on. At CPC, we have had the benefit of the best technology. The investors of CPC own machinery that is state-of-the-art. You do it. You're an investor. You own machinery at CPC, and we spend thousands of dollars getting it. We have a link-making machine that makes the link and then cuts it in a separate piece. Only thing it don't do is put itself in a box. We're working on that. We have a machine in there that makes patties like you would get at McDonald's or any of the rest of these places so we can be competitive. We have a machine in there that vacuum seals, takes out all of the air, creates a vacuum so that when we ship it to you, it's just like it was halal slaughtered and there is no decay, no deprivation of the quality. That place is awesome and it's owned by you. That's what you own. It's called capital expenses that we have put out, and what we have in there is equipment that you own. The very first meeting that I had with the staff there, I told them, I said, we have taken a trust. We are here as trustees on behalf of the investors of CPC and Comtrust. We are here because Imam Muhammad trusts us to carry and deliver the trust for them. We work for you. That's who we work for. The boss is Imam WD Mohammed. But we work for you in his economic vision. And you need to know that. Somebody needs to tell you we work for you. And come and tell you what we have done on your behalf and with your investments. And to do it on a regular basis. I don't want to be signing my name a whole bunch of times, but we're not going to send you them little letters that come out all the time, and they got the signature already on it. And you say, well, they sent this to everybody. Isn't that special? We get them in the mail all the time. But we want you to know that you are special because you have done something that is unique, especially among our community. And it's getting people middle income to take their hard-earned money and trust it to another individual. Hard to do that. But you've done it. And believe me, Imam Muhammad has not let us down. He won't have anybody working around him that will let you down. And as he said, we can't stop now. And right after that, he told me, he said, next year the theme will be, we cannot be stopped. Allahu Akbar. With the entrance of Brother Rafiq and Terry Long and other individuals that weren't able to be here, we entered into some alliances. What we have is a global concept operating on a national landscape initially. So we needed to make significant alliances. We have a system in place now, exists right now, already in service. Any place in the United States, if you call and you want a quantity of halal chickens, I don't care if it is a container. We already did the logistics on it for 42,000 pounds of halal chicken. And you call us by 9 o'clock in the morning, you will have it within 24 hours. You cannot give us an order that is too big that we can't deliver. You can't be in a part of the United States that we cannot deliver to. And if you decide you want to pay the $20,000 and become a distributor, we can have it packaged so that it only represents your distributorship, whatever name that you have for it, and it can be delivered to you already prepackaged.
All right.
When the opportunity comes at the conclusion for me to talk to you about the halal retail model stores, we'll be able to tell you something about the halal chickens that will let you know that this is our market. Halal is our market. It's our market. God gave some people oil, and that is under the sand, and that's their wealth. Halal is our oil under the sand. Halal is our diamond in the mine. Halal is our gold in the ground. Imam Muhammad found the site where it was buried, excavated it, gave us the tools. Now all we've got to do is dig it up and take it and give it to the people. God has never said he would let any people have nothing and they wouldn't have no means. He has never left them abandoned. And he has given us halal. Halal is our gold, our oil, our diamond. That is what he gave to us. And nobody will compete with us on this playing field and they will survive. No one. The quality, the technology is all here today. All of the pieces are in place. We have halal chickens at a price that will devastate your mind. And the first thing it did, I told Imam Muhammad, I said, you know what? There never was a reason for the halal chicken to be costing that much. A level of greed existed, and then they decided never to fall below their comfortable level of greed. You buy halal chickens from us, we selling them in Chicago right now for 99 cents a pound. And believe me, they're making a profit and we're making a profit. 2 weeks ago, we were selling halal chickens 49 cents a pound. 49 cents a pound. There is no reason for halal products to be more. They don't feed them more. They don't pamper them more. They don't take them out to special events and educational and stuff like that. They don't have to spend money on their entertainment and education. Why are you charging us more? There's no reason for it. Imam WD Mohammed has shown us that all we have to do is be God conscious, be thrifty, be economical, and be service oriented. We slaughter the animals with Allah's name, zabiha. We bring it in, and Brother Fareed and the staff there, they put it in the cuts. The other people take it and package it up. Then we weigh it. Then we price it. Nobody is going to be able to compete with us. We have it from the time that it's grown. You can't compete with us. We'll be competitive on any market. CPC has letters that follow it called LLC, and they stand for Limited Liability Corporation. And what this means is that under the laws of the business and commercial codes and statutes for the state of Illinois, that we are registered and that we have limited our liability by the structure of our corporation. What does that mean to you? If we limited our liability, we've limited yours. So a limited liability corporation limits your exposure, your liability exposure to any lawsuit, any other thing like that. So if you're going to help people and you're going to form a corporation, you want them to face the least exposure to any damage. But believe me, when you are selling and producing and distributing quality products, a lawsuit is the least imaginable thing. If they sue you, they're going to sue you for not giving them more quality, faster or something, and we're going to try and make sure that doesn't happen. So we need to share this information. How is it structured? How is CPC structured? It's an investment situation where medium people of income can invest and put their money in. And then there's a board. And the responsibility of this board is to search the economic landscape, to search through America, around the world, the Pacific Rim, Africa, Asia, wherever, and find the best deals on products that are in common use by the individual, for your household, for your family, for your needs, and to purchase it in such large quantities that you get it at such a reduced cost that we can give it to people of medium income and make a savings. And if you're a distributor, you get it at such a low price that you can make a living, perform a service, and make a living. That was the objective. That's the plan. And it's working. ComTrust is a distribution company that was formed by Imam WD Mohammed to distribute the products once they are purchased by CPC. But there's over 37 other distributorships around the country. And that distributorship has the obligation to distribute the products in pristine purity, just like they got it essentially, and to deliver it to the customers. We have entered into some other alliances. One of them is with our shea butter. We have an opportunity to enter all of the GNC, General Nutrition stores in North America. I traveled with Imam Mohammed to visit a company that is going to be processing our shea butter and putting it into user-friendly containers, making beautiful designs, and a product that is just, just amazing. If you see it on the shelf, it looks like it just belongs there. So we are competitive. And what are we doing this with? We're doing this with the investments of the CPC investors. So as we progress, you're progressing. We're doing this with your blessings, with your funds. And we need to tell you that. You need to know that. We have some futuristic things that in the second portion I hope to share with you. But right now, I would just like to say that you will find, with Allah's help and the staff that we have there in CPC and ComTrust, very responsive people to your calls and inquiries. If you become an investor, we're going to send you a letter and I'm going to sign it. We're going to thank you for investing. You're going to get a receipt and a certificate, and you're going to know that we appreciate your investment and that you're very special and very important to us. There are people, and I tell this to the staff at staff meetings that we have on a weekly basis in Chicago in the office there. There are people all over America who are walking in deprived, dilapidated communities, hoping that some sign will emerge that their life doesn't have to be like that. There are mothers who are wondering, where will my child go to school where he doesn't have to pass through a metal detector and he doesn't have to be triple searched? There are parents who are wondering, where can I find a community where I can walk outside at night and don't have to have my cell phone already 911 already pressed. All I got to do is just hit it in case of emergency. Just walk around with your cell phone. Where does that exist? We are wondering, where is the life going to change? Where is this coming from? The economic engine of CPC is the fuel that we are using to answer each and every one of those situations. Imam Muhammad changed the name of WD Ministry to the Mosque Cares. The first time I wrote an article about it, I put the Mosque Cares Project. And he told me, he says, take that off. It's the Mosque Cares. The next time I was talking to somebody, I told him, I said, it's the Mosque Cares Program. He said, the Mosque Cares. And then I got it. The mosque cares. The mosque cares about you. The mosque cares about the food we eat. The mosque cares about where our children go to school. The mosque cares about what we have in our community. The mosque cares. And all of this is being fueled by CPC and ComTrust. This economic foundation, this engine is kicking out the material to show you the mosque cares. Before you leave today, I'm going to deputize all of you. All of you are going to be deputized. You're going to be deputized as official deputies of CPC. Duly authorized to share this message with everybody. And duly empowered, if you have not already become a member, to do so. And also empowered, if you are a member, to increase your investment. Because we have to do more, we have to go higher. Right now we have 2 national chain stores who have invited us to put halal sections in their supermarkets. Kroger's and Myers. These are giants. We're not leaving the giant without some halal meat. Giant can have some halal meat. We're going to bring and present to them our product, the competitive product produced by CPC. But we still need to keep growing and growing and growing. Why keep growing? Because we have to keep serving and serving and serving. So you are all deputized. And you can go out and share this message with everyone you know. The Collective Purchasing Conference is just what it says. It is a collective entity for purchasing, and it was decided at a conference in which Imam WD Mohammed addressed it. If you're not a member, oh, you're missing something. Got to be a member. Got to invest. It only takes $100 to become an investor. And even if you let it sit there, we have a computer system now where on an annual basis, based on your account, 5% interest is automatically accrued to your account. It's just like, you know how you turn on your computer and it says it just changed because of daylight savings time? It's going to be just automatic. We want you to have it just like that. The company that we contracted with, Davis Computer Technologies, has placed us in a position now where we are on a level playing field with all e-commerce businesses. Some of you have already been there if you saw the article in the Muslim Journal. you can go to www.cpcll.com and read all about CPC. Or you can write us and tell us what a great job we're doing. Talk to us and we'll talk back. Or you can go to www.comtrustll.com and you can visit the online store. You can take your virtual shopping cart and walk up and down the aisles of ComTrust store. And you can click on your steaks, your seafood, you can buy t-shirts, you can buy shea butter and put it in your virtual shopping cart and pay for it with your Visa or MasterCard, and it will calculate your shipping and handling charge and give you the total, and we will have the invoice in the morning, and yours will be going out the next day. You can shop online. This is not the future. This is right now. You can shop online right now. And we might have some specials online, you know. We have some conditions. You have to buy at least $100 worth. And then, you know, it makes it worthwhile for the process itself. If you're a distributor, we're setting it up where just like distributors have to buy 1,000 pounds or more, you can do that right online now. And when you click send, an invoice is generated and goes to our website, and then it's printed off in the morning by the lady who handles it, and it goes on the order desk, and we process it. We're doing this with your investment, CPC investment. That's how we're doing it. We have the leadership of Imam WD Mohammed. We have your investments. We have this team of people that's working so that we can be competitive, so that we can get our share. As God says to us in His holy book, the Quran, He says, do not neglect your share. We're not going to neglect our share at all. Imam Muhammad has designed a community that's being called the walkable community. A whole community. You ought to see it. It doesn't leave out anything of value. A whole community. We designed it. That is mine. Call it the walkable community. And the brother who came up and called it the walkable community, when I heard about it, I thought about it. I said, you know what? Maybe it means, because I know how it's constructed, that you can walk to. I mean, every part of it that you need to walk to, you wouldn't even have to ride it, walk it. And then I realized it also means that it will be populated by people of a mindset where you can walk in your community. The walkable community. All of these are the things that we're working on diligently, and it's a labor of love. Love for Allah, love for the leadership in Imam WD Mohammed, love for the supporters and the members of the Muslim American Society, love for like-minded individuals who are on the same path, the same mission, doing the same work, love for humanity at large. That's what motivates and empowers us and drives and compels us. I just thought you ought to know. Assalamu alaikum.
Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Takbir! Allahu Akbar!
Okay, can we get some badges for these deputies?
That is hard.
Can we get some badges for these deputies? Praise be to Allah. That's just the first aspect of the program, and then now we're going to call Brother Shareef, our son, up, and he has some very, am I right order? Okay, so I need to bring up Brother Terry Long. Najee? I'm sorry. Brother Najee. That's just the human condition, that's all. Nothing less, nothing more. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. You know, I kind of feel like Nick Jagger did when he had to come on behind James Brown. I heard an article by WD Mohammed, and he was telling us, he said, you know, we as a community, we need to get out and start looking at businesses. And when we start looking at these businesses, start looking at barbershops and this, that, and the other. Look at manufacturing and producing. And I thought about it, and read a little bit more, and he talked, and he said, look, I guarantee, if you get on out there, if you equip heavily or if you equip lightly, he said, if you get out there and do your work, he said, Allah will bless you and send your angels out there with you. So I started thinking about a piece of land my family owned in 1871, 500 acres of Freeport, Louisiana. And I'd been thinking about it and what I could do with it. And I came across an opportunity to go to a trade show in Atlanta on all the new technology and equipment in home business. While I was there, I met a fellow named Bobby Burris, Caucasian gentleman, millionaire guy out of Texas. And he said, you know, we just met. He said, I like you. I said, I'll help you. I said, I need help. I had to contain myself because I always said, well, give me something. The point being, we developed this relationship. And we worked very close together. In fact, he was one of the people that I took up to Chicago. We met and so what is happening with us right now is, you know, we still have the land and we're still looking at working with the land. However, we have an immediate need, and I was blessed by Allah to run across a gentleman who I talked to. He was telling me about farms that he has for sale that I could get involved in right away. So I started last week talking to him about it. So I'm going to be going up to wherever this place is and looking at the facility. And our projection date at this point is we'll be having our own product, our own integrated poultry facility. And that means from the chicken all the way to the market. We should be up and running in the next 6 months. And you know, what that'll do for us, is do just like Brother Tariq said, you know, not only will we be able to match the quality and integrity and those things that we look for as a Muslim, it also gives us a chance to really get a better understanding about price control and how, like Tariq said, how we can take these prices. We might be able to take chicken and sell it for 10 cents a pound and make $1 million on some of the orders that I've seen. I've seen orders for 100 million metric tons of chicken, China, Peru, so on and so forth. And you know, I thought about that market, and that's really what my aim is the market, to supply this market. And I thought about this market, and I looked around, and you know, I'm kind of slow, so y'all just bear with me. And you know, as I started looking at the market and the potential of the market, you know, I said, you know, this is something that, you know, really, Allah blessed me to just kind of open my eyes and made me aware of just the potential of the market. And as I developed my thinking and started looking at what was going on in the industry, I started thinking, well, chickens is a good way to get into the door. But I think we as a community, we need to look at food. We need to look at food as an industry, and we need to do like the Imam said, look at how we can get into producing our own food. And you know, the walking community that Tariq is talking about. I mean, all these things fit. what the concept of CPC and contrast. And so, you know, looking at food as an industry and learning how to move into it. You know, one of the situations that I've confronted with is my limited knowledge about free enterprise, and I think that's for everybody in the room, because in this environment, prior to well, right now, free enterprise is not one of those things that we have been groomed to participate in or take advantage of in this society. Yeah, we've been able to do stuff with the high-risk venture kind of stuff, but a real solid community building endeavors into free enterprise, we've never been there. And these kinds of programs that we're talking about right now will allow us to really kind of do the kind of debriefing that we need to do on ourselves, because we don't really, I mean, it's like when we was cut, you know, kind of like put off the plantation. We didn't get no degree. They just put us out and said, compete with us. And they had Stanford, Yale, Harvard, and we couldn't even find our way to the next plantation. And now we got to compete. But that's all right, Allah is with you. So, you know, I don't want to stand up here and run my mouth too long. But, you know, I do want us to understand that we need to look at manufacturing and producing. I was at a thing anyway. It was in Washington, D.C., in the Department of Commerce. It was a midweek conference day. And I went because I read this flyer and said they wanted to talk about the $1.3 trillion flooding minority market. I said, that's me. So I went. And while I was there, first of all, I didn't see any more Muslims there. And I was the only person there talking about food. Everybody else was talking about technology and all the, you know, modern, all the political correct language that people use about what's going on in the marketplace today. And it made me listen to Tariq when he said that, you know, this Halal is a gold mine. I never thought about it like that. You know, Halal is our market. I thought about it like that, but not as clear as Tariq gave it to us, you know. And I guess that's the difference between, I don't have, my skills is not an orator, I'm not a good talker. You know, I kind of like to operate out the back room and not be so visible. I mean that in an Islamic way. Yeah, but I bear witness, you know, all the things that Imam WD Mohammed said, you know, about if you get out there and if we think big, you know, we shouldn't be thinking small no more. We have a global market out there that we could really step into. In fact, you know, from my observation of the marketplace, that's how we're going to really make our big step into correcting a lot of the problems that we have here nationally. You know, just by getting it out in the global market. So anyway, I don't have a whole lot more I want to say or could say. Tariq is just kind of, I mean, he deputized me too, so. So anyway, I sound like
I'm sitting here listening to the speakers, and while I'm listening and sitting, I can't take my eyes off of this product here. And it's really packaged very nicely. And not only is it packaged nicely, but it's packaged in a way that is prepared. It's prepared so that you can either store it or you can use it for immediate use. And so I'm really interested to see what Harry Long has to say, present to us in his presentation, and also the information he's going to share with us about this beautiful product he has here. So we ask him to come forward.
I'm going to broaden the gap between me and Mr. Shareef because I don't like to really walk and speak such as myself. So I'm like Ralph Fee, he was on the podium. I'm going to talk from down here if you don't mind. Hopefully I can combine a little bit of what Mr. Shareef says as well as him with Ralph Fee had. My name is Cherry Long. I'm a former Pittsburgh Steeler. I was the shortest man I ever played in the NFL, about 295 pounds. I come from a family of 7 kids. Father left home, beat my mom, drinking, etc. But my high school coach told me that I couldn't play football, so I just beat the whole team, for us. From there, I went to the military, spent 3 years in special forces. If I'm talking too fast, I'm from South Carolina. Spent 3 years in special forces. From there, God blessed me with an opportunity to be able to play college ball. And from there, I gave my life to the Lord, and I was drafted by the Steelers in the 4th round. So I've always been, an overachiever, so to speak, too short or too wide or too slow or whatever you have to be. But what I found with dealing with Mr. Tariq, we were talking last week, and he's right. We did not have certification provided for me. You sit there, you provide me certification, you're out. So immediately I got to work, got the certification you need to supply you with the quality product you need, under the certification you need. But when he indicated to me, Terry, I need you to come to California and speak, I said, well, I don't really want to do that, but when he said I did. So that's that person, Mr. Reed, when you ask him to do something, he does it in such a charismatic type of way, you kind of almost can't say no to him. But anyhow, we initially started, we incorporated in 1993, and we started doing bulk products, buying products and selling other folks' products, trying to make money off of it. I said, Terry, how can you control your own destiny? And like Ralph Fee said, you got to get into manufacturing. Manufacturing is where the money's being made. If you control your own destiny by taking someone else's parts and selling, that's great. What he's done with CPC is very unique and it's very, 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 it has a growth capacity within itself. The product that you got to have, that folks have got to have over a long haul is food. You can't just stop eating food, you got to have food. So what's happening with Mr. Reed's, the concept of CPC is that anytime you control that buying industry with we call it power buying. Palmer does it all the time. You power buy, you buy a large quantity of product. And what you do when you combine that, when you're buying such large quantities of product, you control the price. Because usually they'll give you price-based breaks if you buy a truckload at a time. But if you buy half a truckload at a time, the prices are here. You buy a whole truckload, the prices are here. So what he's doing is power buying. And with the expertise of the butchers and the folks in the house, he's been able to offer, you find folks a quality product at a reasonable price. Now, if you can't control the price of the product you're buying, it doesn't do you any good. If you can't sell the product, you compete against Tyson and the big boys, we call them big players, you can't compete. But what he's done with us, he's driven us down so low that you can compete with Tyson. I mean, kick him completely out of the market. It's your market. You just take it. But what they're doing, as we so well we put it earlier, they're charging you more money for a hard kill product. You shouldn't be happy. I mean, it's the same chicken. The chicken don't have 3 more legs. The same product. But that's basically what they're doing. If you control that price with the buying power, you get what Mr. Reed has going here with CPC, and you just basically just buy right and sell to your people at a reasonable price. And if they can eat properly with quality products at a reasonable price, and you're in the market, who can beat you in the market share? They're your people. How can you beat me in my market? How you gonna come in my backyard and beat me and do what I do? You can't do it. So what we have here, we started selling bulk products. Then we went into manufacturing because we couldn't compete on that level. We manufactured in 1995. We started manufacturing vegetable products. Then we said, yeah, a pizza shop was local in Pittsburgh. They wanted chicken wings, and that's why I started pre-cooking chicken wings. And we were paying about 95 cents a pound. Went from 95 cents to about $1.35. And it kept going up. I couldn't control it. I said, Terry, you need to get in the chicken wing business. So how do you get in the chicken wing business? You process chickens. So we started manufacturing chickens to control the chicken wing prices. So then we started manufacturing potato parts. Now you're talking about two of the biggest movers in the United States, potatoes and chicken. Potatoes is probably a $1 zillion-a-year industry, just big, it's huge. The chickens, they said every person consumes about 75 pounds of chicken a week. That's big numbers, huge product. So with this, with what Mr. Tariq has formatted in the CPC program, we got private labels and selling measures. What we're going to do, like Mr. Tariq said, we're going to private label these products under your name. So now you have identification with the product, and the quality is there consistently throughout all your products. So when folks go in the store and they buy a CPC product, they say, oh, I'm looking for that CPC label because I know it's a good product. I've had it before. So now they shop that label versus shopping at price. Because initially people shop price. They shop with their eyes. But now all of a sudden when I eat the product, I know it's good product. I'm shopping now with my gut. So I want to see the food again because I'll tell you I know it's a good quality product. So now we're going to give you a quality product at a reasonable price and private label on your individual companies, on the individual company names. You with me? So what we have here is basically what we do. We're a private label company. We private label products for this particular company. Giant Eagle probably has 450 stores in the Pittsburgh area. We private label this for Giant Eagle. Okay? We can also private label this for CPC and your particular companies, provided Mr. Tariq wants that done. We'll basically do whatever he tells us to do with particular products. But what we have here, we have frozen French fries. We also do fresh French fries. We also do diced potatoes. We also do sliced potatoes. We also do whole peeled potatoes. We also do cooked potatoes. We also do hash browns. We also do home fries. You can't walk with me. You can't walk with me. Now we have sliced tomatoes, wedges. We do sliced cucumbers. We do diced cucumbers. We do string beans. We do carrots, sliced, diced, whole peel. We do shredded. We do break stacks. French fries. This is the tasting chef. You with me? We do the sliced onions, diced onions, sliced tomatoes. Sliced tomatoes. Comes in a package already pre-sliced. Put them on sandwich salad. Save on labor. Please think about the concept of got to be saved labor. Most of your customers being you got to pay them. They don't want to come to work when they want to come to work. When he sells you the concept that he's trying to sell you, trust me, if it doesn't work, we'll find a way to try to make it work. I will guarantee you, if this concept don't work, I will buy it back from you. How about that? Okay? The concept works. Folks gotta eat food. Matter of fact, I'm having them deputize me because I don't want to come to work with you. You got the chicken parts. You got the deboned and skinless chicken breast. Bones, skinless, all the skin torn off and bones out. You have these are your thighs, but they have the bones in them. Either your whole chickens, basically just crab back. Now, what Mr. Tariq said, you also have two forms of packing your product. You have a crab bag, you have a pull-up pack. Here's a crab bag. See how tight the parts crushed around the bag? This has about 5% oxygen left in the bag, but the product can still breathe. Keep in mind when you talk about a product, it still wants to live. You with me? Think about it. If someone's trying to shoot you, whatever, you still want to live. So the product, when you cut these vegetables, they're still trying to breathe. So these bags are a little different. This is 4-gauge meal. This is about a 1.5 meal. But this film breathes. This is a pillow pack. This is a crowd pack. You want to stop the breathing on this one. You want to allow this to breathe at a real slow rate. You really don't see it, but it's breathing. Trust me, it is. So there's a pillow pack here. There's a crowd pack. Okay? And you have your frozen French fry. You get into this market here, you're bad man, you make some money here. French fry. You make a lot of money. Okay? So trust me. If the concept don't work, for $20,000, you know what it costs me to get in my business? It costs me $3.5 million. And I'm still trying to recruit somebody else. If I can get into this market for $20,000, I do it tomorrow. But you have all these products that are offered for you. First, plus the expertise, plus your liability is not as much as mine was. I pay $10,000 a year in liability insurance. $10,000 in liability insurance. I have 8 trucks on the road. They go from Maryland, Chicago, D.C., Wisconsin, all over the place. Drivers can handle the truck, don't care about the vehicles. But if you have a way to get parts to you, and you can make money off it, folks, God bless you. But I will say, man, any parts we sell, the shelf life of these parts are 10 days. Guaranteed 10 days. It goes bad within 10 days, I refund your check. I'm also, through the advice of Mr. Tariq, for your kids, because that's your future, that's your tomorrow. Any parts that's sold through CPC that are purchased through TLs, we're going to kick back to CPC to help educate your kids. God bless, and I'll talk too much. All over the place. Drivers can't have a truck, don't care about the vehicles. But if you have a way to get parts to you, and you can make money off it, folks, you know, God bless you. But I will say, man, any parts we sell, the shelf life on these parts are 10 days. Guaranteed 10 days. It goes bad within 10 days, I refund your check. I'm also, through the advice of Mr. Reed, for your kids, because that's your future, that's your tomorrow. Any parts that's sold through CPC that are purchased through TLs, we're going to kick back to CPC to help educate your kids. God bless, and I'll talk too much.
Gotta get him a badge. Yes, this is a critical component for our community. We've been doing a lot of riding around. We were here here in Long Beach yesterday, and Claremont. We've been all over, just back and forth. That's a lot of moving around. We just got off of a flight, and like Aquil and brother Shareef. But we were yesterday. I think we were near Claremont. We stopped at the filling station, and brother Shareef, he's very, he's a very patient individual. He listens very well. But I think after a while, he said, "Man," he said, "it's a lot of riding around." He's from Chicago, you know, in a big metropolitan area. They don't have as much use for automobiles. They do have some use as we do out here. They depend on public transportation. But I was explaining to him, you know, in California, man, an automobile is a critical component. It's a tool that you can't do. If you don't have a car, you really don't have a life. So you have to have a car to be able to take care of the things that you need to secure for your life. And so, I mean, can you imagine, not having a car out here, it would be something like a cowboy without a horse or something. Can you imagine a cowboy with his hat on, his boots, spurs, trying to walk to the next town? He's out in the field trying to lasso a steer, you know, on foot. I mean, you can't secure a life like that. So this CPC and all the alliances that we're trying to form, really, this is the business arm and the economic arm of our community, and it's a critical component. Without this component, we don't have a life. So we really want to get busy, and as it's been mentioned earlier, to get involved with this. And so we're going to call Brother Fareed up because he's, as I said earlier, am I right? Okay, you calling him? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll bring the boss back up. And I made it clear, as he mentioned earlier, he's the boss under the boss. So, praise be to Allah, we have Imam Ansaar Aquil. He will bring up Brother Fareed. Assalamu alaikum.
The man called me a boss the other day, and I said, "No, sir, you're the boss." He said, "No, you're the boss. You're the boss because God is your boss, so I made you my boss." He said, "Yes, sir. So you're the boss here." Told me something else too to let me know that I was responsible. He was over me responsible. In 1999, there was a lot of concern about a organization out of Chicago that monitored and certified halal products. This particular company or organization eventually was shown to have some serious problems with their credibility, and a tremendous vacuum opened, and a group of businessmen came and discussed with me about going and looking into whether places that said they were halal really were. So I began to go around to all of the stores that I had found. I did some research and got a list of all of the halal markets in Southern California, Arizona, Nevada. And then I began to visit them. And I gave them a document called What is Halal? This document was developed after I went through the Quran, after I went through the Hadith, and after I discussed with scholars on Quran and Hadith what halal is. We presented it to them and told them, this is what God says halal is. This is what Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said halal is. And this is what the ulama, this is what the scholars have agreed that halal is. And we would like to leave you a copy of this, and we'll plan. So I traveled all over the place and gave them these copies of what halal is. Then I sent them a letter and told them we were coming to visit them, and we wanted to do some questions, present them with some questions. I prepared a questionnaire, and it was very simple, and I went and I asked each one of the halal retailers, where do you get your beef, your chicken, your lamb, and your goat? Some of them didn't want to tell me. Others asked me who was I, who authorized me. I asked them if they were Muslims. They said yes. I said, my authorization comes from the Quran. It says, from among you, there should be those who invite the good and join the right and forbid the wrong, and these are they who will attain the felicity. This is in Surah Al-Imran, Surah 3 of the Quran, ayat 104. So they broke out the books, and they told me where they got their meat from. So I made a list of the people that they got their meats from, and I contacted them and asked them, where do you get your meats from? Until I followed it all the way up the chain to the people who grew them. But I asked them a different set of questions. I asked them, what do you feed the animals yourself? And when I found out that they were giving them steroids, hormones, feeding them animal byproducts, I said, this is not allowed. A group of 40 of them got together in Southern California and told me that if I could get a company that was the largest poultry producing company out here on the West Coast, or at least in its immediate area, they're up in Fresno, I believe, Zaki Farm, if I could get them to give them halal chickens that they would buy. So I asked them, okay, give me some stats. So they said, we would buy $1 million a week in poultry from them. So we made the trip up there, another brother and myself, and we went to speak to the representatives of Zaki, and only we found out that they had been bought out by Foster Farms. So we went over there and asked Foster Farms, we said, listen, we would like to buy halal chickens from you. All we're going to ask you is that you don't feed them any steroids, no hormones, no animal byproducts, and we'll buy them. And they said, well, maybe you should go and talk to somebody else. We manufacture our own feed, and we're kind of locked into what we're doing here. So I immediately thought, $1 million? They just turned us down. So we left, came back here, regrouped, and I began to look at it some more, and I met a Muslim who has been in this business for a long time out of North Dakota, and he has a PhD in nutrition. And he said, Aquil, you know the problem is in the feed. You need to be talking to the feed specifications man. So I started calling and said, can I speak to the person in charge of your quality control, your feed specifications? And I said, send me the feed specs for your chickens, your lamb, your beef, your goat. And I sent it to this brother. And he said, it looks good, but the devil is in the details. He said, the problem is in the vitamin D3 that they put in there. So I'm saying, it's on all of the milk. I mean, we drink it. What are you talking about? So I decided to get on the internet and do some research. And what we found blew the halal market sky high. Because what we found was that because the chickens were being raised in these enclosed areas under artificial light, compelled to eat, they were missing the source of vitamin D, which is the sun. So in order to put it back, they had to artificially give it to them. And the artificial sources of vitamin D3, or vitamin D, which is that vitamin D3, comes from the pig's brain, the skin of the pig, fish, or the skin of lambs. But the most prominent animal, you know the story.
Wow.
So they were taking vitamin D3, manufacturing it or producing it from the pig brains and the skin of the pig, and injecting it. It was into the feed. When I saw what was happening and how big this thing was, I got an audience with Imam WD Mohammed. I went to Chicago, and I sat down with him, and I said, this is what's happening. This is what they're doing on the market. And we have become aware of GMOs, genetically modified organisms, and how they're taking genetic material from pigs and splicing it into tomatoes in order to give it larger, make them larger, make them bigger. So if you think you're a vegetarian and you eat these big GMO, genetically modified tomatoes, you eat pork too. And it's so pervasive and it's so inwoven into the system that we say, you know what, there has to be some source of food for humanity that is reliable, that they can consistently say, this is quality, these people have integrity, and they will not give us other than what we are looking for of good quality. I shared it with Imam Muhammad and told him that I formed an organization called the Muslim American Food Council. Came back here and got some more information. We found out that they had another problem. What they were doing is they were carrying the chickens through a system called stack feeding, where they have 3 cages high and they only feed the chickens on the top. They only feed the chickens on the top. So I went on the internet and looked at this, and the USDA had said that they found that there was a significant source of protein in the droppings that the second and the third were eating, so it was okay. Some of you that have children, or if you surf the web, go to the internet and look into these things. It's right there. Tremendous amount of information right there. And it had a diagram, and it said that what happened to the last ones, the third row, didn't go to waste either. They swept it out, bagged it up, put it under tarps. And as I drove across the country a few times, I saw it, and now I knew what it was. These big tarps with tires around it to keep it down, and underneath it was the droppings of the chicken, and they said that the chemicals in it caused it to heat up, and it killed Salmonella, Shigella, and Escherichia coli. E. coli and Salmonella was killed because of the ammonia, I think, that builds up underneath there. And once those 2 bacteria were killed, it was okay. They throw it away, right? Wrong. They feed it to the cows. They feed it to the cows, and they say they do it because alfalfa is very expensive, and hay is seasonal. If they don't get a good rain, you might not have enough hay, so we always do the chickens is there. There has to be integrity in the market. When you're paying for something, you have to know that that's what you're getting. And that was the thing that was motivating me in the Muslim American Food Council, is that people were being told that they were getting halal chickens, and the people were buying the chickens from supermarkets at 79 cents a pound and selling to the Muslims for $2.50 a pound. And we were busting them. They used to confess. I thought I was dressed in a suit and tie. Maybe they seen a little thing around it. They started confessing like I had a collar. I know I'm wrong. Brother, I know I did wrong. Some of them told me half of the store is halal, but the other half, we do what we can. One of them, they had a factory down in Texas, and they were selling halal chickens, they said. And I said, well, who performed the biha? They said, no, we had somebody come from the Middle East, and he blessed it when we first opened it. It's been blessed ever since. So, brother, I said, how in the world can you say this chicken is halal? And I'm telling you, they're feeding it pork, and they're telling them, they're feeding it pork. He said, well, brother, you don't understand the religion. Allah said for us not to eat pork. He didn't tell the chicken. So I said, okay. Okay. And this little crowd, they nodded their approval of what he said. So I said, okay, let's make it personal. Here's a chicken right here. This chicken just been fed pork. It's your chicken. Can you eat it, Muslim? No answer for that. His friend answered. He has to wait 3 days, brother. His body will disseminate the pork. It will be So I called Zaki, foster farm, and I said, listen, when you get ready to sell the chickens, do you quarantine them for 3 days? Do you quarantine them for 3 days so that their system can be pure from the pork? He said, the day you buy them, we sell them, because we sell by weight. We let the chickens fast. When you buy them, we sell them. So we knew that there had to be something in place where we could get a product that was pure and clean and wholesome for us. We had to go to the next level. We buy our beef from the Amish. Imam Muhammad has a very reliable relationship with them, and we know what they feel. We get our chickens right now from Terry Long. We have a halal certificate. We know what they're fed. Brother Rafiq has an operation coming up in about 6 months, inshallah. We'll come online. We'll be getting halal chickens. We know what they're going to be fed. A lot of problems is coming out of bad feed. A lot of problems are coming out of the bad food. So once you are the manufacturer and then you become the producer, the next thing in business is to produce what they call downstream industries. And the downstream industry for halal products is that you open your own retail outlet. That's the next level. That's the next step. But most of us are medium income and don't have a lot soaked away, so it has to be something that's plausible, that's reachable, that you can do. So we sat down and designed a halal retail model store plan. And if you have a pamphlet in front of you, you can look at it. It should be there. It's very simplistic. I could have got an architectural engineer to draw this up for me. But it's so simple, I figured I would do it myself. And what it alludes to is that all you need, if you have measured this, all you need is 100 square feet. 100 square feet is all you initially need. With the bag that knows how to say thank you, please come back and shop again. You will not need a butcher. You will not need a butcher's saw. You will not need a packager. You will not need a weigher. You will not need a scale. All you will need is a freezer, a reach-in cooler, a display case for your vegetables, and a cash register and a pleasant employee. We've designed the package, and when Brother Fareed comes up, he will be explaining it to you in minute detail. We want you to understand this in detail. Not just a wonderful concept, but in minute detail. And we have found that with $2,500, we can put together a model shop starter package. You will get 500 pounds of beef with all of the cuts, from filet mignon to New York steak to ground beef. You will have 2 lambs cut up, 2 goats cut up, 2 cases of chicken, 1 cut up and 1 whole. Out of that $2,500, 200 of that dollars will go for fish. You will have whiting fish, you will have perch, and you will have catfish. This is the catfish that's been fed where they had that special feed and they just floated on top of the water, so it has to go up. It came bottom feed. And the balance will be in deli meats. You will have egg made. You will have the sausage. You will have the bacon. You will have the other deli products. All within this $2,500. Now, here is what I have been waiting to tell you. I have been waiting to tell you this. Out of the 500 pounds of beef, Imam Fareed, when he comes up, he's going to show it to you. Out of the 500 pounds of beef, when you retail it, you will pay back your $2,500 that you spent and pay for your shipping, and everything else will be.
Say that again.
Did you get that? No, y'all didn't. Out of the 500 pounds of beef, this is exclusive of the 2 lambs you're going to get cut up, and lamb chops and leg of lamb and all the other cuts. This is exclusive of the goat that you're going to get cut up. This is exclusive of the 2 cases of chicken you're going to get up, one cut up in breast, legs, thighs, wings, and the other whole. This is exclusive of the fish that you're going to get, exclusive of the deli that you're going to get. Just the 500 pounds of beef, the way it's priced, will pay back everything and your transportation. Nobody will be able to compete with you. It's your turn to be competitive, to give quality service, quality products, all from CPC. Don't you want a store?
Yeah.
Don't you want a CPC retail store called the Halal retail store? Don't you want one? Don't you want one in your neighborhood?
Yeah.
The alliance that we have formed with Brother Aquil, with Terry Long, his associates, his company, with our with Stephanie Davis and the computer technology that we have, all of these things have brought together an entity. We have trucking facilities connected with Terry Long where we can deliver anywhere in the country within 24 hours. Package all of these things, present all of these things, have CPCs labeled on them in 1 pound serving things. All of this is here now. We have the complete package. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Imam Muhammad has given us this vision of economic stability. He's shown us the diamond mine, the gold mine, the silver mine. He's showed us the halal mine. Don't you want to mine the halal mine?
Oh, yes.
I'm going to ask Imam Fareed Hassan to come up. He is the assistant manager of the meat processing plant at CPC in Chicago, Illinois. He is a master butcher. When I say master butcher, what I mean by that is he worked for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as the butcher in your supermarket in Chicago. He has worked for the major supermarkets throughout Chicago and the state of Illinois. Out here, it would be comparable to Albertsons and Ralph's. And he cuts meat so pretty that I shipped some meat to a man. The man was on vacation. By the time he got back, the meat had went bad, and he said, I still want to order because I can tell how it must have been. Allahu Akbar. So to bring you up to the facts, to explain to you the details, the brother who is working on this with me day and night, I mean, we spend day and night working on this in Chicago. I'm going to ask him to come up, and at the conclusion, we're going to have a very, very special announcement for you. Brother Imam Fareed Hassan, please.
That's it.
All praise due to Allah. Thank Allah for this opportunity. May Allah's peace and blessing be upon Muhammad the Prophet, upon his descendants, between Muslim in America and Muslim throughout the world. I greet all my brothers and sisters with the greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum. I'm very thankful to Allah for this opportunity to stand before you. This is a great opportunity. Imam Mohammed asked me to come on board to give me 2 weeks to give notice to my company. I was leaving. I was a supervisor of over 40 people. I supervised people from all over the world. But this was a great opportunity for me to help develop this halal business. And inshallah, I pray Allah to bless me to paint a picture in your mind that you can see it. A lot of times people move based on how they see things. If they don't see it, they can't move. And when you can see it, you can move. My brief talk for a few minutes is making the right connection. When Mr. Bill Gates began with his computers and all the things he had, he only had an idea. He didn't have all the physical money and the computers and all the software. He had an idea. But there were those who invested in his idea. And all of them are multi-millionaires today. Imam Muhammad came out with an idea that was in his mind, and Allah has blessed him. And they went all over the country with an idea on paper. And many saw the idea and they invested $20,000 into an idea. And because of that faith they had in Imam WD Mohammed, we can see the idea have developed into a reality in less than 5 years. That we're able to serve halal meat throughout the whole country. An idea developed right before your eyes. An idea developed right before our eyes. We want to show you for a brief minute. I got a lot of notes, and I couldn't get them organized because a lot of them want me to get all these notes organized. And I got them on 5 or 6 different pieces of paper. But I want to go directly to the meat industry. When I came in to Contrast, I met some meat cutters there, some butchers, and I found that many butchers do not know all the basic cuts of meat cutting today, especially African Americans. Many of them can cut basic things, but when you get the whole cow, you got to break that whole cow all the way down to your T-bone, your fillet, break it all down. Many African American butchers don't know that. They can't do it. They can cut, but they can't break the whole cow down. Many of them can't. So we got a training program right now at Contrast. We train and we teach it to pass this knowledge on, to give it, to share it, because there's a lot of money in this meat industry. There's a lot of money. Now we're going to get specific because my time is up on me right now. We want to show you how, through your investment into your own business, how this will work, how you don't need any butchers on the premise. Only thing you need is the basic equipment and a cashier. And you can own your own butcher shop. Aquil was talking about the 500 pounds of cow. Let's go to the blackboard and show you how this will work. If you purchase 500 pounds, just the cow alone itself, it will pay for everything else. You'll get 500 pounds of cow, beef, 2 lambs, 2 goats, 2 cases of chicken, $200 fish, and also $200 worth of luncheon meat. It will work simply like this. Say that you spend $500, 500 pounds, that's beef. £500 of beef. If you go to the store and you buy your porterhouse, your T-bones, your filet mignon, all of those steaks, they're going to run you roughly $7.89, maybe $8 a pound. Your initial investment will be $2,500. $2,500. This is going to buy your whole supply, supply for your shop. $2,500, you got 500 pounds of beef. This beef is going to come packaged, wrapped, and priced for you. It will cut down the overhead. You don't need no employee but a cashier. It will cut down on buying equipment, a saw, a grinder, and many other equipment that goes along with running a meat market. If you take this 500 pounds and the bare minimum of $5 a pound, say $5 a pound, the minimum cost, $5 retail cost a pound, that you're going to sell your product for. Just bare $5 a pound. You're going to come up with $2,500. Just from your $500. $2,500. Which means that everything else that you have purchased, the lamb, the veal, chicken, the goat, the luncheon meat, is all priced for you. Because the beef is going to pay for everything. Plus it pays for your shipping costs. $150 of that would also go to your shipping costs. But it's up to you. You know, I read a book once that said that in order to get the fruit off the tree, sometimes you got to go out on a limb. And if you're not willing to go out on a limb, you have to wait until the fruit falls off the tree.
That's right.
This is a great investment. In fact, as Brother Aquil said, we're getting ready to open up our own shop. All the employees of Contrast, we're getting ready, inshallah, in Chicago, to open up our own halal shop. But let me show you, brothers and sisters, exactly how this will benefit you also. Contrast. Just like this company that came to Imam Muhammad with this idea, they can take it to Contrast and get it distributed all over the country in Contrast. If you got a product or you got something you invented and you want to get it all over the country, you can take it right to one location, Contrast, and get it all over the country. Just think if you had to pay for shipping, transportation, marketing, promotion, distribution, all over the country, how much would it cost you? In Imam Muhammad, Allah has blessed through him a means for you as an individual with an idea to get rich. You as an individual. Just go to one source to get rich. I'm going to close out. But I want to talk to you about perception. Sometimes we can perceive a thing in our mind. And sometimes it can be a false perception. And we can make a false perception our reality. And that false perception can become real in our minds. And we'll fight to the death to defend that false perception. Adolf Hitler had a false perception of humanity. And when you got a false perception, it is because of lack of knowledge. We have tried to give you the correct knowledge of CPC and contrast to destroy all the misconceptions and false conceptions that is in your mind. And we pray along that when we leave here today, that we go out here for progress, to make progress, and working together. But remember one thing, the base of progress is peace, not war. War is destruction. When a nation is at war, there's no progress. It is being destroyed. When a husband and wife is at war, the house is being destroyed. You make progress on the peace. When your soul is not at peace, and your soul is at war with your thinking or with your mind, there's no progress. We have to make peace. Every imam in here should leave here today and make peace with the imam in this area. If we have any disagreement, Allah, Prophet Muhammad said, he that makes an effort toward reconciliation with his brother is better than the one who do not make an effort toward reconciliation. And the Prophet said, if neither party make an effort toward peace and reconcile their differences, then the punishment of the sin is on both. So we want to make progress, let's make peace. Peace is the foundation of progress. We have to make peace. And so I thank you, may Allah bless us, and I pray, Allah, that we leave here today with a better understanding of CPC, a better understanding of contrast, and a better understanding of the great mission placed upon our leader, Imam WD Mohammed. We can help him put contrast all over the country because we helped him in 75. We helped him in 75 to put La ilaha illallah all over the country. We helped Imam Muhammad. We established La ilaha illallah all over the country. We helped him establish Salatul Jummah all over the country. We helped Imam Muhammad establish Prophet Muhammad as the last prophet and messenger all over the country. Did not we do that? Yeah. We helped him. And I believe in my soul that we can help him today establish contrast and CPC all over the country. Because the enemy didn't stop us in the past, and they can't stop us now. And there was a thing that says, the only thing that can stop you is yourself. So we have to get our spirit right, get our thinking right. Imam has done his job, and don't listen to those that have misunderstanding. Help correct the understanding. And once the understanding is correct, and the perception is right, the knowledge is right, we can go forward. But we got to get the knowledge right and understanding right, and then we'll go forward. So thank you, may Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum.
Takbir! Takbir! Takbir!
You didn't know it was going to be like this. Assalamu alaikum. I hope that we've shared significant information with you, and that even if you did know about PBC and Comtrust, that we may have filled in some of the gaps, we may have answered some of the questions that you had. I hope as well that any misconceptions have been cleared up. Again, I appreciate your attendance here, and it's been a pleasure to be able to share this information with you. And now we're going to do some real work. How many of you here are members of CPC already? Thank you. How many of you here buy products from Comtrust? How many of you have been thinking real hard about it, but you haven't got around to it, but you would really love to be a member of CPC? And among you who just raised your hand, how many of you that have this overwhelming love inside your heart to become a member of CPC happen to have your checkbook with you right now? Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We've asked that there be someone designated in the back. Any of you who are interested in becoming a member of CPC, and as I mentioned before, the smallest quantity is $100, and there is no limit after that. Once you reach 20,000, you graduate to a distributorship. Any of you who are interested in this, there'll be someone in the back that you can give your name, address, and phone number to. When I travel back to Chicago, we will be giving you a call so that you can finalize your commitment to invest in CPC. And I hope that each and every one of you will do that. If you're already an investor, I'm going to ask you if you have been informed enough, if you have heard enough, if you have seen enough today to add something on to that, to kick it up another notch, to do a little bit more so we can do a little bit more. And with that, I thank you very much. I hope and pray that Allah will keep us with His good spirit. In closing, I just want to tell you that I try to be cautious. They say it's intelligent, so I try to be cautious. But I ventured to tell Imam Muhammad, I said, you know, they tell me on the West Coast, they're really getting ready to move, Brother Imam. I said, that's good. I said, no, they say they're really getting ready to move. They're really getting ready to do something out there. I said, yeah. I would hope that he would hear you saying, you're really getting ready to do something by doing something out here. And he hears it all the way in Chicago. You think we can do that?
Yes, sir.
Did they say something like that? Are they normally louder than that? Do you think we can do it? Yes! I know you're right. Thank you.
Well, Imam Harun has some words for us, inshallah.
In the name of God, merciful benefactor, merciful redeemer, praise be to God, cherish and sustain us in the world. We thank Allah for blessing us to be here at this presentation. This is a wonderful thing. It's something that we've been looking for quite a long years. I know when I came into the community some 40 some years ago, was talking about things like this. Our late leader, El-Amin Muhammad, said one time, he said, if you come into this religion and follow what he was leading us to, you'll have plenty of money,
Good home.
good home, friendship, and all walks of life. So we're at that point now. If we do this, if we put the religion, put Allah in the front, pray mighty, be peaceful, and do what the Imam is leading us to and bring us into, and has already brought us into it. Let's get behind him stronger than we was behind his father. Hello? Let's get behind him stronger than what we were behind his father. And that's not taking anything away from his father.
That's right.
Because he brought us into the deen like it's supposed to. His father was leading us to this. But now he has brought us into it full force. So let's get busy. We can't stop now. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, don't go anywhere because we're going to be praying at sunset, Salat al-Maghrib, and then afterwards we're going to break our fast.
We're traveling.
What time do we have? Okay, so the sun is setting at around 4:44:50. So we can make an answer and then pray, inshallah, at the appropriate time. We'll pray Maghrib, and then we're going to be returning back to the home here so that we can eat. We have some food. We do have food, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to add, if we don't, we got plenty of food right here. Okay, and we also want to make just a little time here to make create an opportunity for you to ask questions. I'm pretty sure you probably have questions, so we're not going to be able to have a long period of time for that, but maybe about 10 minutes. Yes, so Imam Aquil will come forward. He's going to make himself available for you to ask questions. But again, we're going to pray, break fast, come back over here and eat. And then when you take these items, remember you're on Ramadan, so don't be greedy. Just one bag per person. So we asked, so we asked that Imam Aquil come forward and we have to answer any questions you have.
I'll do my best. Ali, Imam Ahmed?
I can ask you, what is the wholesale price of chicken? And what is the minimum quantity?
79 cents a pound.
79.
Retailing for 99, distributed again at 79 cents a pound.
Is that including shipping? What is the minimum for
1,000 pounds.
1,000?
1,000 pound combination. It can be beef, chicken, lamb, goat, fish. It has a total of 1,000 pounds. And you get the wholesale price on all of them.
And how long is the shipping?
I'm corrected. He said the 79 cents does not include shipping.
Does not include shipping? How long does the shipping take?
24 hours.
If you are buying a combined order, it has other products.
Just chicken.
If it's just chicken, it's 24 hours.
That's 24 hours shipped to you, or 24 hours you're going to process the order?
In 24 hours, from 24 hours from the time we get the order, as long as it's not on a weekend, you will have your product.
So if you get on a Tuesday, you got it.
That's right.
Are the animals to be out with their hand or the machine?
I didn't hear her question.
It is the beehive. The beehive. Slaughtered by hand or machine?
These are slaughtered killed by hand. You know, I'm glad you asked that question, sister, because there is halal legislation in the state of Illinois now, and there's halal legislation in the state of New Jersey. And a few months ago, I was at a conference in New York, and I met the senator from Georgia. And we were talking during the break, and I mentioned to her, well, I asked her, do you have a halal law in your state? She says, no. I said, would you like to have? So she said, if you'll come and address the Georgia State Senate, I'll put the bill forward. What is the difference between the halal bill that we have in New Jersey and Illinois? And I said, there are two key differences. The present halal bills that are in legislation say that feed of the animal is not a problem, and that hand slaughter is not necessary. And those are two fatalities as far as Islam is concerned. to my knowledge, for halal. They say feed is not a problem. So inshallah, we'll be invited down to address the Georgia State Senate and get a halal bill on record. It is consistent, because I took this to Imam Muhammad and asked him, please look at it and tell me if I need to change or correct or put in or take out anything. He looked at it, he told me this is fine. So we have the highest halal standard in the world. Any other questions?
Oh, yeah, if the orders come combined, how long does it take? If it's combined, chicken, lamb, goat?
Been about 3 to 4 days. But we're going to really decrease that. We have some things that are coming online that's going to really decrease the amount of time that it's taking. Yes?
Is all your meat products packaged in a plastic bag? Or do you have just loose?
All of them are packaged. We can package the chickens individually because most of them are cryo packed. Most of them are vacuum sealed. The chickens, though, because of the speed of the process now, I'm really thinking, and maybe Terry can tell me, I'm really thinking that we don't even need to freeze those chickens because they can be chilled, most of them, if they're going to get there in 24 hours.
Yes, sir, this is correct. Most of your poultry is kept at about 28 degrees anyhow, so it has a little frost on it. Just for free, but you're absolutely right, we can get it there that way.
So, this is tremendous. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Brother Aquil, a lot of us not in position to be 500 pounds of beef and 1,000 pounds. So because we don't have a freezer space, and you have to, rent it or something. So I was wondering, is there a provision whereby the orders could come partial or something of that nature?
I'm glad you asked that question. I will ship anything anywhere in the world from CPC package, from one steak to one leg of lamb, as long as you feel shipped. Yeah.
I have a question in the back. The brother's had his hand up for a while in the back. You can't see him. He's had his hand up for quite a while.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, how do we get more information how to initiate the $2,500 order?
See us immediately after this meeting. We're waiting for you. We're waiting for those who are ready to start this process. And I mean, it's coming in from you will be very encouraged. And inshallah, I spoke to the Muslim Journal and they gave us a column now. We have a column in the Muslim Journal. We have to fill every week. And if you get this issue coming up, you'll find there won't be one because I didn't write it this week. We're out here. But we're going to use that as a source to keep you informed of what's happening in the community, what's happening with CPC and Contrast as well. And I started with an article on what is halal so that we can start. It's an educational process. We have to learn about this. Some of us, I see some of the imams here that I know that know this. They know it very well. But by and large, we need to be educating each other and reminding each other what is halal. We have one that's going to be coming out on vitamin D3, I think maybe 2 weeks. Oh, alhamdulillah, I'm glad I mentioned that because this is really a great thing. The reason why I didn't write the article is because last Monday morning when I came into the office, I had the very first investor for CPC using e-commerce over the internet. So I went to Imam Muhammad and I said, I would like to write an article. After I contact this brother, I'd like to write an article and show the history, how we started in the 50s with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad telling us, put together your little pennies, just send them in to me, $1, send it in, and we will build something. Build a hospital, we will work. Then in the 70s, when they used to have the buckets going up and down the aisle and collect it, so that we could buy some farmland, so we could do this and that. And I said, now here we are in the 21st century, in the new millennium, and this is the first investor to cross the electronic bridge and invest. I said, this is historic. So I called the brother and spoke to him, and I'm going to print just what he wrote to me. He said, when Brother Aquil called me, I thought I was dreaming. So I told him, call me back tomorrow. So I called him back the next day and told him that you were the very first and we want to acknowledge this. And he said yes, and we got all the information and found out that actually it was a group of them, a distributorship that had gotten together, and they wanted to do business with CPC, and that they had sent in this investment, just like you can do. You can go over the internet. You know, if today you may be a little short, you know, you can go to the internet. You can go to www.cpcll.com, and you can use your Visa or MasterCard, or you can download it and fax it to us or email it to us, and we will call you, and you can tell us the denomination. What he did with his is he printed it off and then got a money order for the amount and mailed it in to us.
Yes, sir. Is it possible for, let's say, for instance, 3 or 4 brothers get together and to go to the partnership and become distributors? Is the 20,000 that's necessary to become distributors?
That's an excellent idea. That's an excellent idea.
But we're looking for 3 more brothers from the 5,000.
And they probably in here right now. I think we're ready for this. I think we're ready for this. Yes, sir.
Pardon me if I don't understand exactly. If you're willing to ship a single steak or a single lamb pound, how will you protect those who decide to invest in like a brick and mortar store with refrigerators and freezers?
Because the individual that we ship to is paying retail and he's paying the shipping. You're purchasing wholesale.
The beef,
Yes, sir, you.
the beef, is it individually wrapped each piece of bulk?
Yeah, Brother, you want to respond to that?
Yeah, especially on the beef, it would be cut down, we would cut it down to steaks like porterhouse, T-bone steaks, ribeyes, and they would be vacuum packed and wrapped and priced if necessary. Individual package.
You will be able to take them straight out of the container that we ship them to you in and put them into your display case and wait for the store to open. Already packaged, already priced, already labeled.
It will come to you like this. This is boneless chicken breast. Boneless package and vacuum package. Only thing you have to do is put the price on it.
It'll be labeled, price on it. That's the price. Now, all of the products here are the from Terry Long and the company that he has, and they're for you. I think we'll have to find a reasonable way to split this up and divide it. And I think I can give you a couple of onions and some celery. What I was thinking would be a good idea to have some Ziploc bags so that, you know, he supplied us for Thanksgiving. And we had all of these, a little smaller quantity, and I thought it was going to be peace in August until the sisters in office started looking at what was there. We had a few tug of wars going on. But we got some small bags and worked it out, and I guess we have to do the same thing here. Yes, sir. Right.
Now, are the vegetables under the umbrella in reference to halal also that you were speaking on?
You can purchase them through CBC, yes.
The same order of 24 hours? Or
They're not included in the $2,500, but we will have the figures for you on these. Those who call in, we will give you the figures for it, and we will update your floor plan to show a suggested positioning of it in relationship to the coolers to keep them at a temperature that will enhance their longevity. Yes, sir. Wait,
President Shareef mentioned earlier the $5 a pound price on the beef. Is that an average price, or is that for every piece of beef to give us an idea of how to break that down?
That's an average price, because actually what we do is some of you that are in this business or deal with e-commerce, you know that Unveiling is one of the major players as far as prices for beef, chicken, lamb, goat, and stuff like that. So we became members of Unveiling, which is like a stock market. Every Monday morning you go to Unveiling, you look at the prices, they fluctuate based on a lot of different factors, global and national factors. So what we do is we look at the price on Unveiling, and then we look at the price and the radius in relationship to our location, and then we set it based on that. Imam Muhammad has given us this formula, and we look at the prices around us, and he has suggested, and we take his suggestions very seriously, that we do not go under, and also he has suggested that we do not be much higher than that. So it's kind of a medium, kind of a medium pricing.
In reference to the minimum requirements of $100.
Online. If you're going to purchase online, then we would like to have at least a minimum order of $100. A minimum investment in CPC is $100.
Right, is that, you buying shares or what?
You're investing in the collective purchasing of the products that are being done by CPC. And you're sharing in the collective benefits of the things sold by CPC. Yes, sir.
For really product, it'll be a national campaign, like advertise the product, the general public will be aware.
Allahu Akbar.
These are available.
Allahu Akbar. I completely forgot. And Allah used you to remind me of three things. The halal retail stores will get three perks. First of all, we're going to do your advertisement. We're going to produce your flyers in Chicago and ship them to you. Second of all, we're going to announce you and advertise you in the Muslim Journal as a source for purchasing halal in your area. And third, we're going to supply you with a halal certification to go into your store.
That's very
Yes.
Is it steer, or is it film, or was it age? Is it raised with
It's a steer. Steer. And we have certain weight limits. We don't want them to weigh over so much because they begin to produce fat and stuff like that. There's some specifications that Imam Muhammad has said. Sometimes they like to castrate them so that they don't produce the steroid.
I also know the person is not even shot with the case.
Stunning is un-Islamic.
That's right.
Right? Clear doesn't.
I'm glad you asked because others in here may not know. This is the way the majority of the animals are killed. They stun them. And I went to a plant that asked me to certify them. And when I saw them stun the animal, I asked the plant manager, I said, the animal is kicking and moving there. Is it out of the cause of death or is it alive? He says, I don't know. I said, well, in our religion, we are told that which is right is clear, that which is wrong is clear, and that which is doubtful, stay away from it. So that animal is not alive because we don't know. Then they told me, well, we hook it up on a thing and electrically, we shoot electricity through it. I say, so all that shaking is doing ain't because it's damaged, because you're electrocuted. He said, but that's what makes the blood come out. I said, well, before it can be halal, the blood has to come out through the natural pumping action of the heart. So all that blood is coming out of it ain't coming because of the heart, it's because you shot it. Yes, sir.
Someone asked you a question, you should be individually. I didn't hear the answer. Like you wanted to order the case of the chicken, and you send the chicken without them being packaged, or
without them being bagged up?
Right, and then in the back and see bag.
If that's what you require, if that's what you would like, and you specify that, then we can do that. But I would wonder if you're asking a question about just a case of chicken, or where you are a distributor and you ordered 1,000 pounds of product, and this is just one of them, the chicken is just one of them?
Well, yeah, I'm asking the question with the idea that sometimes people don't always buy whole chicken.
Yes.
Sometimes you buy parts of the chicken.
Yes.
And so you send it so that you can accommodate that.
Yes, if you are going to purchase the chicken so that you can cut them up, or so that you can sell them as parts, then we can send them to you so you can do that. If you want them already cut up in parts, we can do that too. Yes.
Yes, the question I have is,
1,000-pound order is for distributor. Anything less is for individual order and be retail.
That's right.
Okay.
That's the breaking point. Yes, sir.
What would be the total average value beyond the $2,500 of the initial investment?
You're asking me a projection on the retail, what you might realize, and that's going to be impacted by a lot of factors. One of the factors is going to be your tax base for your state is going to determine that. The other thing it's going to determine is the price that you sell it at based on the prices around you and the quantity that you sell. So, I mean, there's a lot of variables.
Is there an average?
Well, there's a mathematical average, and that's what we gave you, the mathematical average. That if you purchase this complete package, the meat cuts that you will get from the 500 pounds of beef at the normal market retail price will pay for your whole order plus shipping. Yes, sir.
What if individuals you want to have that fine quarter or half cow, whole cow, instead of having on the show cow, you got capsule, you want to have yourself,
I see Brother Fareed nodding, saying, yeah, we can do that. Yes, sir.
Is there also an additional charge because you package it up or not package it up, so it's like time involved?
It's all factored into the price. Yes, sir.
Is there a date on the packaged products to give us an idea of the production
Yes.
for the customer?
Yes, that has to be done by federal law. All of our products are USDA approved, and by law, you the end user, the customer knows when it was actually processed.
Even vegetables?
Vegetables are date carried.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All the vegetables are dated when CPC receives the product. They'll have 10 days on the product for the non-consumer.
We didn't answer so many questions in here. I'm ready to increase my CPC investment. Thank you, Assalamu
Getting close, so we want to thank everybody for your participation in coming out. All of you have made this event successful without you couldn't have done it. So again, thanks, and we're going to simply close out with the 103rd chapter of the Quran. And if you have time to ask more questions, Aquil will be out in this area. So this is that.
To give you a good understanding of what we're going to do, when we get ready to break our fast for iftar, you can break it right here. Some apple juice or whatever back there, break the fast there. And then we go over in the masala, and we say our prayers. And you come right back in here for the main course. Everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure you know. Don't leave. Anybody want to invest in CPC? See Brother Aquil, he'll be able to talk to you about it. Get you signed up.